face trial by video charges arising from yesterday's match against Sydney. Today, both the Saints and Swans were tight-lipped about several incidents involving Lockett, including the first quarter clash with Peter Caven, which will sideline the Sydney defender for up to 10 weeks.
It was a low-key return to Melbourne for St Kilda after their miraculous but controversial one-point victory over Sydney. Match winner and headline maker Tony Lockett was quick to leave the airport, refusing to talk about any aspects of his SCG performance, including his 11-goal haul. Lockett's solo effort has been overshadowed by several physical clashes in the match, including one with Peter Caven, which saw the Swans defender undergo emergency surgery.
I was a fair distance away from where the incident occurred, and in the hurly-burly of the game, I got to be honest, I struggle to even recollect the circumstances around it. I know there was a clash in involvement, and the umpires at that point of time determined that there was no report.
The personnel of both clubs would do well to just keep cool for at least the next 48 hours anyway.
AFL investigators are expected to announce several video from the Saints-Swans match, but for the moment, St Kilda isn't prepared to concede Lockett will face the tribunal.
We always stand by a man. I mean, and the bottom line again, I'll just say is that Tony's gone out and played a fantastic game. He's virtually won the game for us. I mean, he was the icing on the cake. He's kicked 11 goals, and at this point in time, he's got nothing to answer for.
Talk of legal action by Caven against Lockett was downplayed by Ron Barassi today. The Swans coach strongly opposed to such methods.
I'm not a believer in players going to court. I think it's sort of the worst sides of American life. We don't want to hear in this country.
As for the finish of yesterday's match, both clubs stated the obvious. Tony Lockett was the difference.
Lockett played very well. We felt that if we could keep them to 7 or 8, we'd win the match. So we didn't, and we didn't.
If you wrote the script, and there's anybody in our club out to have the footy in their hands in that scenario, we wanted number 4 to have it, and he did.
Nothing to worry about, it was a fair bump.
Hession claims the umpire saw the incident but deemed it unworthy of a report.
You've got 7 umpires out there, 3 within 30 feet, senior men. They didn't see fit to report it. Now,
Lockett has been reported on 6 occasions, found guilty 5 times and suspended for a total of 13 matches. While concerned for Caven's well-being, St Kilda coach Stan Alves says Lockett was doing his job.
These things can happen. It's not something that I want to happen, but I certainly still want my players to play with an intensity and if they get the chance to run through somebody.
A decision from the AFL is expected tomorrow. So officials, including tribunal advocate Ian Finlay, were preparing Lockett's defence this afternoon. The Sydney Swans say Caven will miss up to 10 weeks.
Tomorrow.
When he arrived home late last night, the big man wasn't too keen on all the publicity at Melbourne Airport and made a hasty departure. Today, though, he joined the rest of his teammates in training at Moorabbin. The AFL's investigation officer is now looking at our exclusive pictures of the incident before deciding on any trial by video charge.
Oh, Lockett!
The incident has been the talk of football, not only here but in Sydney, where hundreds of callers flooded Channel 7's switchboard. Peter Caven was knocked unconscious and underwent an operation this morning on a compound fracture of the nose. He was told by a plastic surgeon not to play for 3 months.
When a player finishes in hospital and has lost an hour or so out of his life, from the point of view of company member, that's bad.
Lockett spent most of this afternoon here at Moorabbin meeting with club officials. He maintains his innocence, saying his actions weren't intentional, and his manager went even further.
the public weren't there. It's all very well with hindsight, with freeze frames. It's a contact sport, it's not netball.
And Hession says Lockett was informed by umpires during and after the game that he had nothing to worry about. Earlier this afternoon, Plugger was behind closed doors meeting with players advocate Ian Finlay, preparing for the worst.
The unfortunate thing is in a contact sport such as this, at some times, that margin of error at the speed we play, things won't go according to plan.
Jim Wilson, 7 Nightly News.